Good afternoon. We meet each other when I'm in a very reflective and nostalgic kind of mood. The reason being, my younger years, first kind of 16 years of my life, I grew up in a North Yorkshire town called Gisborough. And today I find myself in Redcar. Work is finished for the day. It's a strange one for me, is this, because as a kid, we're like, oh, going to Redcar, and we're like, oh God, not Redcar. But we always come here with my nana and my granddad, God rest their souls. And we had a lot of childhood weekends here and holidays here. I'm not shooting for landscape purposes or dramatic images, but it's kind of, I'm shooting today what reminds me of Redcar from being a kid. That wasn't here when I was a lad, that's new. And over there on the horizon, if you could just see it up yonder, they've rebuilt the cinema. That cinema needed rebuilding. It used to be the case that when the tide came in, you had to lift your feet up. I'm shooting things that remind me of my childhood. Obviously, this red signal wasn't here when I was a kid, but they had signals similar to it. Going for a couple of second exposure, 12 to 40 f2.8 Pro on an M1 Mark II. I haven't brought my filters with me because I threw the camera bag in the car at 6 o'clock this morning, so hopefully we'll get some nice pictures. I'll share them as we go along. Now, the queer thing for me coming here is when I was a lad, it was all industry, and it still is to a degree, but you can see the effort that's gone into kind of rejuvenate and regenerate it. I went to the Tees Barrage yesterday, I went to Seal Sands. I think I said it in a video a little while ago, what you don't see is all the attempts to go out and catch wildlife videos and shoot things, and it never happens. You never see those videos. Now, I could have done a video beginning of this week which there was a barn owl, but he was so far away. Unless you like videos going, owl, and that's it. And it was pointless doing it. But this is my fourth attempt at making a video this week, trying to get something to share with you guys. And since I was up here, I figured, let's do a little nostalgia trip. I don't believe those penguins are real. Now then, you can't come to the North Yorkshire coast and not go to the chippy for your dinner, can you? It's like a law. We're not going for fish and chips today. I've not been traditional. Look at that. So the men from the boys were like, you've got to fuel your photography. I've had me Slimmer's special chip butty with mushy peas. I'm in my car again, driving to the next spot, and wanted to show you something else before we lose the light completely, because it's November and the sun drops quick. And I've just seen something else they've done. They've obviously invested a fair bit. Probably through a bad car, dirty car window, but I think that will make quite an interesting photo. If anything was synonymous with my childhood around here, it's this. This brings back so many memories. Strange, isn't it, what triggers it for you? Saltburn, very special to me as a childhood, very special place. However, I started to appreciate it even more when I really got into my photography about 20 years ago. It's one of those places, if you like your long expo, if you like your piers, if you like killer sunrises, you can't go wrong. I'll take you for a walk along, and there's also some saltwater hydraulic trams as well, which we got hammered into us at school to learn about. But I'll take you for a walk. Saltburn's very big on surfing as well. I got a wicked, I'll see if I can find it and put it up here. I came here about 10 years ago and I got a wicked photograph of a stand-up paddleboarder just as the sun was coming up, and I'm pointing over there. He was stood there, where in between those two cars. I did it in black and white. It was a cracking shot. That was on me Nikon D800. That was a killer shot. Anyway, enough yap. I want to take you out and show you what I'm excited to be here for. Quick correction, I said they were saltwater operated trams. They're not, they're operated out of a local spring. And what happens is the tram at the top gets filled with water in the bottom of the tank, about 1,000 litres. And the tram at the top, when the weight overcomes the tram at the bottom, starts moving downhill, which pulls the lower tram up the hill. And when the lower tram gets to the top, the brakeman, who's the man in the top cabin, selects the speed and the stopping point, and the cabin at the bottom then drops all its water back into the reservoir so it can be used to pump the next one up. Clever stuff these Victorians had. Well, I timed that completely wrong. I had the pier to myself. I stalled, I started fanning around with drones and stuff like that. And a young, I think they're Indian couple, came over and asked me to take the pictures for them. And I did, and then I did the best job I could. And then they wandered off down the pier and I was like, no longer got the pier to myself. And as I keep saying, I know I don't own these places, but what a shot to get that pier to yourself. That's for Undro and his missus. I just got collared into a very impromptu photo shoot, which I enjoyed. And now I've got some pictures on mine as well, which I'll edit and send to them. Just nice meeting nice people. What a good day. There used to be a pub called Marine. Don't know if it's still there or not. And I used to go drinking in there as a younger man. And me and my mates got tanked up. I staggered across the road, probably to talk to a girl or something like that, try to impress them, try to convince everyone I wasn't drunk. I fell over that barrier and right down that hill, and I ended up about here. An old lady walked past, I laid on my back covered in blood, lit up a cigarette, and she just looked at me and went, admit it, that hurt. She was right. Always looking for me different angles. Yes, the pier's nice. Well, under the pier. Think about what you could do with that. Right, I've switched out to the 7-14 2.8 Pro. I'm going to try and get some really ultra-wide, interesting angles. There's an awful lot of talk as well on the internet that you should only shoot golden hour, sunset, sunrise. And I get it. You know, you could get a picture that's a 10 out of 10 and make it a 20 out of 10 if you've got that light. That is true. Like myself, I've got to work up here. I've got no time to get up here for sunrise, not unless I want to sleep in my car. But you can get cracking pictures at all times. Look at these blues in the sky. Look how rich they are. Look how the green contrasts with that light bouncing off it over there. You can get any of that. So the whole, it's got to be golden hour or bust. In black and white, golden hour don't matter, does it? Well, it's been a wonderful trip down memory lane. Relived some of my childhood, photographed some of my favourite spots. But my parking's nearly up, £3.30 an hour to park on the front. However, 6 minutes in Manchester Airport cost me £225. I'd love to meet the man who priced that. But regardless, I've had a lovely afternoon, well, evening. I've got a 3-hour drive home now, so I'm going to bid you adieu. And I hope you enjoyed the pictures. Like I say, it is going to be black and white heavy because for me it's nostalgia, but I love it here. I love you and leave you, and I'll see you later on. Thank you for coming along and reliving my childhood. See you on the next video.